I'm Little Stink Stink, the turd of time from Twitter of time. Let's meet the ToTers! Disclaimer. Thank you so much for your patience and understanding while this show grows and learns. For example, I'm so sorry the audio quality is not where it should be yet. I'm learning more every day and getting help fixing the more annoying problems. Any advice is welcome. Please feel free to DM me. Thank you again. I plop in gratitude. Hey everyone! I'm here today with Ann Caldazar from Twitter of Time. He goes by the username Matt C. Not to be confused with any of the other Matts. This is my Tio Matt. This is Matt C. How are you doing today, Matt?
Doing perfect and very excited for this, despite being very late where I am right now. So if I look tired, it's because it's close to 5 a.m. in the morning.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I have some questions for you today. Are you ready for them?
I'm 100% prepared and 100% excited.
Awesome. Question. When did you discover Twitter of Time?
Twitter of Time. Well, when did I discover? When did I join? I will start when I discovered because it's a very interesting story. I was in the 100 fandom for like 3 years, but
Okay.
as soon as I heard about the show being picked up by Amazon, being so obsessed with The Wheel of Time, having just finished the books in 2017, and then I heard in 2018 that the show is being picked up, I was like, well, I need to follow the people. Like, I need to follow these big accounts, and I need to see what's happening. So I followed Rafe, I followed the cast, I followed everything as it came out.
Yes.
And then I discovered Malkier's King.
Malkier's King, Lan.
Yeah, Lan, yeah. He's an amazing guy to follow because just he is Lan. Like I see him as Lan better than I see Daniel Henney, which is insane to me.
He really is, though. He is in every way you can think of. He is exactly as though someone handed Lan Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just made me go through his follower list. And then I found Dane, which is, your father, but we don't speak about that.
Yes, let's not talk about Dane.
Yeah. And then I followed Tigraine, who is also an incredible account to follow. And again, just perfect, the mother of dragons, or how she's called, the eater of dragons.
the Yeeter of Time, I think, is her latest nickname.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then I stuck with those accounts, like following them in 2019, I think it was. Yeah, I stuck with them. I never joined because I didn't know how to join. I was very out of it until I saw your thing.
Me?
Yeah, until I discovered Where's Waldo. Until you started doing this. I don't particularly recall when you first tagged me into it and how did I got into that, because I was only half. Like, I remember having my picture, my avatar being Matt, but my name was Chris, and I was totally only tweeting about 100. So then you got me into that, which I thank you very much for doing it. And then I was able to just be, this is amazing. Like, the people here are so welcoming, they're so inviting, and me commenting on it and getting likes and getting comments on it and getting people it just makes you feel seen, and yeah, I love that. I love feeling like that. And I was like, you know what, this fandom, the 100 is no longer like feeling like home for me. I mean, the show was over 1 year ago, and you know what, it's time to move on. So I decided to make the jump to Twitter of Time fully, changing my account into Matt, and that's happened. I mean, it feels like I did it a long time ago, but it's only been less than 2 months. I remember finding, because I have the official account, I have the notifications on for it. I assume everyone has. And they posted a picture of a season 2 script. I think it was the first episode script, but they took it down like seconds later.
Yes.
But I had enough time to screenshot and post.
Yes.
And that was my very first interaction with the Twitter of Time community.
That was your first one? So I just
My
happened
very
to
first.
be lucky enough to see you post your first
Yes,
one and
exactly.
grab you. Well, that kind of
Like,
sounds like it was meant to be.
it was luck, because I'm mad after all. So
Yes.
I tossed the dice.
You did toss the dice. Question. What are some of your favorite things about Twitter of Time?
Well, first of all, is the sense of community that I found. Like the people helping each other, supporting each other, loving each other and what they're doing. It's just something that you don't see anywhere online. And I think a lot of people could benefit from doing what Twitter of Time does. Like when we spot a new user, we immediately make them feel seen. Like we immediately get them up in the community. We retweet their posts, we comment on it, we just make them feel appreciated.
Yes.
And there's hardly any drama, there's hardly any fights, unless you count the ones against the people who, have very unstable opinions that I won't share here. This is a public place, but yeah, I'm not going to share here and make them and advertise them. But unless you count the community getting together to take them down, we are an incredibly positive place on the internet. So this is one of my favorite things. And of course, the role-playing community within Twitter of Time.
Yes, absolutely.
So the White Clothes accounts. I don't know, how can anyone like the White Clothes? You should think that. But I do. Like, if you remove child bias, if you remove him or Dane or the High Inquisitor or Pedro Nile, then the community just loses its charm, because who are you supposed to root against?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. You are exactly right. They are the community's favorite people to hate.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds wrong.
We love to hate them.
Yeah. And I also love the Forsaken accounts. Like, for example, I really want to name drop one, because I know he will probably be in the comments on this video. It's Ishii, Uncle Ishii.
Oh, Uncle Ishii, yes.
Ishii, like, he is amazing. Like, when he becomes Zen, and then he goes back to being normal, and I just love interacting with that particular account so much. And he's been one of the very first who welcomed me. So this is my shootout to you. Thank you.
Question. Do you have any favorite memories with people in Twitter of Time?
My favorite memory has to be the comments on the most recent Brown wedding. Like, I've never seen a more chaotic but also incredibly funny thing in my life on Twitter. Like,
yes, it was amazing. For everyone that was not flushed, it was hilarious.
And not stabbed with a sword like poor Lorna.
Yeah, poor Lorna. Poor Mama Lorna.
Mama Lorna, yeah. So adorable. But yes, the comments on that post and seeing everyone involved there, including Marcus King officiating the actual wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was just insane. Like, to see the entire community being so alive. And I think I haven't seen it like that since the trailer dropped. So imagine, this is the trailer, like the actual Wheel of Time trailer that we've all been waiting for. And then you have the Brown wedding of there is a sentient coop, and there's Dane, and all that just brought the community together just as good as the trailer did. So, I mean, that really worked. Yeah. Another favorite memory, it has to be when Dane plopped you. Like, I wasn't there, but I read about it, and seeing how that story came to life, it's just insane. Like, it was a a comment on a post about let's see a funny thing that happened.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they went to the river and did this. And a few months later, you emerge, and this whole community just becomes crazy around this entire idea. So
yes, it does. Around a sentient poop.
Sentient poop. Like, who would have thought? And again, yeah, I have to praise because I'm here to thank people. I also have to thank you, which I would have done so at the end of the video anyway. But right now, I have to thank you because, yeah, you're the reason all of this happens. Like all of these Where's Waldo events, all of the Twitter highlight events, the circles that we have that all of us are in right now, and this, the YouTube show, the Meet the ToTers. So all of this just happens because of your mind. Yeah, you have help, but your mind just makes this possible.
Question: when did you discover the Wheel of Time?
The Wheel of Time. Well, I discovered it in 2014, I think, or 2015. I don't remember exactly. It was that winter anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So then I looked for a different kind of series that has both elements from Lord of the Rings and the Song of Ice and Fire, but does it better than both of them.
Yeah.
And that is the Wheel of Time.
You are absolutely right. It's a perfect description for it.
I just love it. I read it. I remember picking up Day of the World and just being so immersed into it from the very first chapter, from the prologue. Like it just draws you in. Like you just look at this little chapter, let's call it chapter, and you see Lewis Sterling just burning himself up into a mountain. And like
right?
Holy crap, like this is happening. So how are you not gonna be curious to just go on and find out how is this possible? Like who is this guy? Why did he become a mountain? Who are the people fighting against him? And just all of that.
Then it throws you into two rivers and you're like, wait, no, what happened to the guy who turned into a mountain?
Yeah, exactly. Like, take me back to the dragon. I don't want to hear about this Rand. But then, Rand becomes a dragon. So,
yeah, it grabs you in. Question: what are some of your favorite things about the Wheel of Time?
Favorite things. First of all, I really love the diversity of the world. Like, in most fantasy, it's all about, random bunch of dudes just going around having adventures. I mean, most fantasy books just start with this, like, again, Lord of the Rings, we barely see any women. We barely see any important female characters doing something. And again, I don't blame Tolkien. He wrote like in the 1930s, 1950s. It wasn't that much about women. But seeing what Robert Jordan did, it's incredible. Like having so many powerful characters and not the gender not being like at the center of the story. Just having men and women and having diversity all over the place and just having such a powerful story told from different points of view. It's just incredible. And again, I know a lot of people use the length of the series as a thing they don't like, think it's way too long, like 14 books, 15 with the prequel. Too much. For me, that's a strength. I love spending so much time in the world.
I'm with you 100% on that. I could stay in that world even longer.
Exactly. Like if RJ and Brandon Sanderson would have gone on to write about 20 books, I would have been fine with that. Like 20, 25, go on.
Right, just don't stop. Let us keep staying in this world. Yeah. That's one of the things I'm kind of hoping about the show is that it reaches a point where Brandon Sanderson or whoever is like, okay, we need to continue this.
Yeah, until Tim Jordan just says, you know what, let's make a sequel. Let's see what happened with our heroes after the last battle. What happened with that?
Let's see. There's so much that could be told. So much.
Just incredible.
Question: what is your favorite part of the Wheel of Time?
My initial answer would have been to say the last battle, because obviously it's this climax, this huge chapter, the never-ending chapter with never-ending.
Yes.
important moments in it. But
Yes.
I think I would say the moment where my favorite character just beats up two cocky princes, and that is Matt in The Dragon Reborn, chapter 19.
Oh, I love it.
No, not chapter 19, I'm sorry. Chapter 24. Yeah. Chapter 24 of The Dragon Reborn, where Matt just goes and kicks the ass of Gawain and Galad.
That is the start of Matt being epic.
Oh, yeah.
From that point on, he just gets better and better and better. I am 100% with you there.
So, yeah. It's either that or the moment where he goes in Iridian and just faces off against the Elfin, and he just curses at them until he finds himself strung on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything about Matt can be one of my favorite moments. Matt is just epic from book 3 to the end. I like him in book 1 and 2, but not being in his head, just kind of, yeah. So pretty much that's it, because I know there's going to be another question later about characters. So
yeah, that's actually the very next question. Question: who are some of your favorite characters from the Wheel of Time?
Do I have to name only one or more?
No, you can name as many as you like.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with Matt because I already talked about him. Yeah, Matt is just like the first time I read The Eye of the World, and all I wanted to do was punch Matt in the face. Like all I wanted to do every time he was doing some stupid stuff, I was like, "Oh, not you again! Who's going off on an adventure? Matt is going to shut a logger. Matt is going to spill everything about Cholos.
Right?
Matt."
Yeah, I don't think you're alone feeling like that. He needed slapping.
needed thumping from Nynaeve, like
yes.
he did.
From Nynaeve's thumping stick.
Yes. And then like we already talked about the moment when he beats Gawain and Galad, and from that moment on, just him going and gambling, him going on an adventure with Tom, and then blowing up the Stone of Tyr and all of that. This is gonna be my favorite fantasy character of all time. Like, I can relate with him so much, being into his head and seeing how he thinks, always with that attitude of, oh no, not this. This is not happening to me, but I'm doing it anyway. But it's not happening to me.
Right?
Yes. Like blood and ashes. This is not real.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And other than Matt, I really love Egwene. Like, she's just her journey. Again, I love her from the start because she was strong-minded. I like strong-minded women. Like in Iridian fantasy, I really like to read about a woman who is really set on her path. Like, she knows from the very first moment what she wants to do, and she does it.
Yes.
And seeing Egwene following this ambition from book 1 and just going to all the stuff she goes to, it's like her journey just never has a breather. She never stops, to be like, oh no.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. It's just go, go, go.
I just fell in love with her every single book, all the way. And I want to give an honorable mention to Perrin and to Rand, because being that the Twitter Viren, I just really love them together.
Question: what characters do you think you resemble the most?
Physically, if I take it physically, the most I resemble Rand without the hair, because I have his height, and I think I'm just like as athletic as he is. Like not really athletic, but I would do fine with a sword if you give me a sword,
Yes.
I hope I never have to wield a sword in my life to defend myself. But but yes, Rand would be the one physically. Mentally, I really want to say Matt, but it's not Matt, it's Perrin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, I really want to say Matt, but I'm not as confident as Matt is. I'm not as outgoing as he is. I will never see myself gambling or drinking like he does, or having lasses on my knee. So it would be Perrin, the quiet type, who just judges everyone and talks when he's needed to talk about, and just enjoys toxic relationship with fire.
Yeah, they could definitely use some counseling, some help.
Because I've went to some of that in my life, and I relate with what Perrin is going to and what he's gone to. So yeah, I think Perrin is the one I resemble the most mentally in terms of it. Yeah, Perrin, and I'm thinking his name escapes me. I think even Gawain. I know Gawain is hated. I mean, not universally hated, but it's
disliked. Pretty close to it, yeah.
Yeah, it's dislike. But I can relate to his jealousy, and I can relate to how he feels about Rand and how he feels about the rest. Because yeah, when you're always the second choice, when you're always the one overlooked, you relate. Being overlooked and being the second choice in life makes you relate with a character who is that.
Yeah.
So I would say in this order, in terms of physical resemblance, Rand, and mentally Perrin and Gawain.
Okay. Question: where in the Wheel of Time world would you like to visit the most?
When I watched Reese's video, the first one I watched, I was really thinking about it myself. Like, I just stood there and went, where would I go? Like, I would not go to the waste. I don't want to die. Well, I want to go to Tar Valon.
Yes.
Because I just think I really want to see that white tower everybody keeps raving about. I just want to sit there, and look at the white tower, and also Dragon Mount, because having Dragon Mount nearby, having Dragon Mount nearby, and just again, it all goes back to that damn prologue and how Lewis Sterling just turned into a mountain. So yeah, I want to see Dragon Mount and Tar Valon. That is the place I want to go to the most. Yeah.
Would you try and climb Dragon Mount?
Not that athletic, but I would try. Probably I would die, but maybe I'm the Dragon Reborn.
Go up the White Tower and enjoy Dragon Mount from maybe.
Yeah, I think that's
a balcony.
Because I have stairs.
Yes. Question: what is the story behind your Twitter of Time account or account name?
Before the story behind my name. Well, because I am Matt Cotton, and Caldazar, which is the username, comes from the old tongue cry for battle that matters, which I don't remember off the top of my head. But it's the long one, Kalalai Anilisande. That one.
Yes.
I wish I would know the old tongue. It seems like such a badass language to learn.
Yes, it does.
And now with the show, I think we will get explored. I heard they hired a linguist for it.
Oh yeah, they did. I heard that too.
So it's gonna get developed, which means a lot of people will come around speaking the old tongue, which I can't wait. I will be one of those. And yeah, the name being Matt Cotton. I mean, I already explained why I love Matt Cotton and why he is my main favorite character. Also, I really love saying bloody a lot. So
it works.
It gives me the chance to keep going around Twitter of Time and say bloody this, bloody that. Yeah, fine.
That's perfect. Question: what's something you've accomplished that you are really proud of?
First of all, I'm really proud of my education, because being passionate about history was a thing since I was 7 years old, and I found this old history book about Romania. I am from Romania, by the way. It's about the history of the country, and I don't even remember its actual name, which is weird. But I know exactly everything that is in it, but I don't know the name. Yeah, but finding that and just give me this passion about history, and I started reading more and more and more as I grew up, and I knew this is what I wanted to do in life. Like, I wanted to be a historian. I wanted to just learn about the past and about what built the societies in different countries, the civilizations. So I went with that. This is what I studied in university, and I also completed my master's in medieval history.
Wow,
So
that's huge.
I'm actually proud of this accomplishment. Like, I am proud of it.
Yeah,
And
that is really huge. I'm proud of you, Tiamat.
thank you so much. Thank you. Because, in Romania and pretty much here, if you want to become a teacher in history, geography, doesn't really matter. You're kind of overlooked because you're like not really gonna earn a lot of money. You're not really gonna be, living like a king because you're a teacher.
Yeah.
It's all about the passion. Like, it's all about what you want to do and what makes you happy. Because it doesn't matter if you earn a lot and you're unhappy at your house and you're unhappy at work. It's better if you just love what you're doing and enjoy that. So
That's so
this
true.
that is my accomplishment, that I managed to finish that, and I managed to just be, happy with what I did. Yeah.
Question. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
There's only one thing. I want to do this shootout to a really important person for me on Twitter of time, person that I really started talking a lot with in the last week or so. Yeah, I think it's like for a week, and that is Leisa Sedai, Ruth. Like, we really started.
She's really special.
Like, she is amazing, and she was supportive. Like, because at the time we record this, just a night ago, we had those news about Barney being recast, and like, she knew about me being 100% like a simp, I'm gonna say, for Barney.
Yes.
And she offered immediately to just be by my side and help me through it. Like, she was like, if you need to vent, if you need to talk, if you need to scream, just do it here.
Oh.
And
yeah, so
this is like, this thing is about her. Like, I really want to do this for her, and I really want to thank her personally right here for what she does. To tell her she's amazing, and I consider her more than a best friend. I consider her more like a sister, and I really like that. And, using this video to just do shootouts to two of my best friends in the entire community right now, which is you and her.
You are definitely one of my best friends, Tiamat. You are
Thank you so much.
Such a big part of the community. I know you haven't been with the community very long, but you are a part of the family. You are one of us, and I am so proud and so honored to know you.
I will never want to be anywhere else but what I am right now, with the people I am right now.
Absolutely the same. Oh, you got me a little choked up. That was really sweet.
No, I can't, because I'm getting the same. So
okay.
Over up. Just one thing, Taishar, Twitter of time. Thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for being amazing. All of you who are watching now, and all of you who will watch later. Just really want to say that as a community, you really shape lives for the better, not just mine, but every single person who discovers this community and comes in one piece, just gets out in a billion pieces of awesome because of all of you. So this is my big thank you for the entire community and to everything you're doing.
Thank you. And thank you so much for joining us today, Tiamat. If you're not following him yet, make sure you go to Twitter of Time. He is @andcaldazar. I'll put a link to his profile in the description so you can follow him and his amazing things he has to say on Twitter and get to know my Tiamat. Thank you. And tune in next time.
Bye.
Do you want to be on Meet the ToTers? I'd love if you joined me. No cam? No mic? No problem. Click the link in the description to see how. Uh-oh. Spoiler warning. If you're trying to avoid Wheel of Time spoilers, turn off the video now. The rest of the interview is spoiler-filled continuing conversation that was edited out of earlier questions. Thanks for watching, First Watt Timers. Please remember to click like and subscribe on your way out. Love you. Question: who are some of your favorite characters from The Wheel of Time?
At the end, I just cried. Like I cried. I just couldn't. I couldn't get past that moment in the last battle. I just couldn't. Like, I was sitting there, like tears flowing down my cheeks when reading. I was, what's happening to me? I'm a grown-ass man. I was 20 at the time I finished I finished the Memory of Light 2017. I was 20 years old and I was crying for Egwene like she was my mother. Like,
yeah, no, I'm with you. I felt like I really grieved her. Like it was like losing a best friend.
exactly. Like, look, you said it perfectly. You're like losing somebody who was along with me for the ride, and then suddenly she wasn't.
Yeah.
And that was just a punch, a good punch in. Like, I just felt it. I felt it hard.
Yeah.
And one of my main issues with the ending was that we never got the scene of them together again. Like,
you're right. We didn't. They never do that. They don't They don't reunite.
Yeah, they don't reunite. That's what I mean. Like they don't reunite at the end. We have only Matt and Rand.
Yeah.
Not pairing, and I just hated that. Like I just wanted all two of them to have a banter about girls again. Like I know it doesn't make sense, but all three of them just bantering about, you know what, you're better with girls. No, you are. But Perrin is. No, Matt is.
Rand is. He has 3 women.
I mean, Rand definitely won the game. I don't like.
Yeah.
How can Perrin and Matt say anything to him when he sits there with Min, Egwene, and Elaine? Well, not Min and Egwene. What am I saying? Avienda, Elaine, and Min. Yeah. I'm saying Egwene. See, she's still on the back of my mind all the time.
I feel the same way. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and check my pin tweet for details on how you can be on Meet the ToTers.